Let's say you were walking down the street to your car and all of a sudden you step on a nail. Wait, let's make it more dramatic. You step on a bear trap. So now you're standing there with a bear trap on your legs thinking, what am I going to do now? Actually, you'd probably be thinking, that fucking hurts. So now what are you going to do? So you've got a couple of options here. You can either A, walk it off, or B, go see a doctor. They look at the alternatives here, which would be the emergency room. My name is Doodsjager, and I'm going to give you some tips to surviving the emergency room. Tip number 1. The internet never went to medical school, so don't treat it like a doctor. If you go to the hospital and you tell the nurse that you Googled your symptoms and you came up with a solution that you probably have the Black Plague, you're probably going to get laughed at. Just a little bit, yeah. Wear clean underwear. Enough said. Tip number 3. Be nice to the nurses. Often overworked and understaffed, nurses are there to help you. And if you make it worse for them, it's going to be worse for you. You understand? Capiche? Tip number 4. Plan on waiting. People don't realize that there's a circumventional flow in the emergency room in which the whole experience works. First, you come to the desk and you tell them what's wrong with you. Second, you meet the triage nurse, and the triage nurse's job is to assess you and determine how urgent your emergency really is. Now, if your emergency isn't really that urgent, you're going to have to sit in the waiting room until a bed frees up for you. Tip number 5. Bing! The emergency room is not a first come, first serve. So don't get mad if the nurse takes that little old lady who's clutching at her heart in the back before you. She's probably having a heart attack right before your eyes. You know, the ambulance bay.
Calling. Let's start with 24 and then we'll go to 18. Go ahead, 24. 5-year-old female coming from home. Patient has she was hypoglycemic at 23 and blood pressure.
Disgusting. Ugh. Tip number 8. Don't ever tell us how to do our jobs, because we're gonna get pissed. Tip number 9. Don't bring the whole neighborhood with you. We understand that the hospital may be a scary, kind of intimidating place, but you don't need to bring grandma, grandpa, the neighbors, the mailman, just so you can feel comfortable. One person is enough. And finally, tip number 10. Find your way home. Except, I do remember this one time. We had a really old lady who fell, and I felt so bad for her that I told her I would take her home because she was all sad, and I
Smile.